Most sales calls don't fail at the close. They die in the first 60 seconds before the pitch even starts. And there's one opening line that quietly costs sales reps thousands of dollars a month. Today, I'll show you how to open a sales call the right way so that prospects lean in instead of checking out. Welcome to the channel. I'm Larry A. Davis, and I have seen how most sales calls feel awkward, rushed, or tense, like you're already behind before you even begin. Well, I teach sales professionals how to control the first minute of the call so that the rest of the conversation feels natural and easy. I've helped reps increase close rates simply by fixing how they open calls without changing their offer, their price, or their pitch. If your sales calls feel forced, uncomfortable, or rushed, you're probably opening them wrong. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to open a sales call so prospects feel safe, understood, and ready to buy before you even talk about your product. All right, let's go. Number one, start with safety, not selling. People don't buy when they feel trapped. Think about the last time you answered a call and immediately felt sold to. Your shoulders tightened, your guard went up, you wanted out, you wanted to hang up the phone. And your prospects feel the same way. When a call starts with pressure, their brain goes into defense mode. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And so the takeaway here is your first job is not to sell. That's not your first job. Your first job is to make them feel safe. Here's an example. Here's a script example. Hey, before we dive in, I want you to know that this is not a hard sales call. And if it's not a fit, then that's totally okay. That's a line that you can open up with. Hey, before we dive in, I just want you to know that this is not a hard sales call. And if it's not a fit, it's totally okay. If you use that line, you put them in safe mode. Because safety creates space, and space creates trust. 2, set simple structure so fear goes away. You want to have some type of structure because confusion kills confidence. Nobody wants to be confused. People want to know what is going on. People want to know what's going to happen. So you have to set some type of structure. Imagine getting on a plane with no announcement. They make no announcements and you get on the plane. You're confused. You don't know what's going to happen. There's no flight plan. They don't tell you we're on our way to San Francisco or wherever, or New York. They don't say anything. There's just no announcements. Like, you'd panic if you knew you didn't even know where you were going. No, you wouldn't even get on the plane if you didn't know where you were going. But if there were no announcements, no instructions or anything like that, you would not want to stay on that plane. You would be ready to get off. Sales calls are exactly the same. When a prospect does not know what's coming, their mind fills in the worst case scenarios. And so they're gonna fill in the worst case scenarios if you don't say anything. And so structure removes fear. Here's a script example that you can use. You say, hey, here's how this call will go. I'll ask you a few questions. We'll see if this makes sense, and then we'll decide next steps together. That's simple. Just say that. Tell them what's going to happen in the call. Give them an agenda. Basically, you're giving them an agenda. Whatever's on your agenda. You're going to ask them some questions. You're going to provide them with this, and you want them to provide you with that, or whatever it is. Just say the structure. You can say, I'm going to speak first, and I'm going to show you this, and then I'll open it up for questions. If you have any questions of me, and then I'll show you the package or whatever. Just tell them that. Now the prospect can relax because they know the roadmap. They know what's coming. There's no surprises. Number 3, give them control to lower resistance. People fight pressure, but they follow permission. And so if there's pressure, they're going to fight against that pressure. But if you give them some type of permission, then they'll follow you. They will follow you. And what I mean by this, have you ever noticed how kids do the opposite of what you tell them to do? And if you ever notice that, then adults aren't all that different. If you are too restrictive on an adult, they're going to fight you. They're going to push back. And so when the prospect feels controlled, they resist. But when they feel like in charge, they open up. And what I mean by in charge is, I'm not saying they should be in charge of the entire call, but you allow them to be in charge of themselves. Show them how they can be in charge of themselves. Let them know, stop me at any moment if you have any questions. If there's something you don't understand, stop me at any moment. If you need clarification, let me know. Raise your hand, say something. Like let them know that they have some type of control over themselves, not the call. You as a salesperson, as a sales rep, you control the call. You control the agenda. You control who talks when, but allow them to control themselves and let them know that you are in total control of yourself. And so an example of this is you just tell them, hey, at any point, if this does not feel helpful, just let me know. Just tell them that. If this is any point, this doesn't feel helpful, and if something doesn't make sense, let me know. And ironically, when you tell them that, this makes them listen even more. This makes them want to stay on the call. All right, number 4, shift from pitch mode to problem mode. You see, selling too soon is selfish, or at least it feels selfish to them. Think about a doctor who walks in and prescribes medicine without asking any questions. You would not trust that doctor at all. Sales is the same. If you pitch a solution, a product, before you even understand their problem, you lose all credibility with them. You don't even know if they need this solution. You don't know because you haven't asked them their problems, their pain points. You haven't diagnosed anything about them. So you want to go into problem mode first before you get into pitch mode. Find out what are their real problems and ask a lot of questions about their problem and ask them to go deeper and dig deeper and dig deeper, right? And so the takeaway here is it's problems before products. I don't want to hear about your product until you tell me that you understand my problem. And so you can say this in your script. To make this useful, can I ask you a few questions about what you're dealing with right now? Can I ask you some questions about what's frustrating you? Can I ask you some questions about what's not working? Those are some things that you can say in your script. Now the call becomes a conversation, not just a performance by you. It's not just you giving a sales pitch, a sales lecture. All right, number 5, lock in purpose so the call has direction. You want to have a purpose for this call so that we know where this is going. So we know where this is going. Aimless calls end with, well, let me think about it. And the only reason they need to think about it because they're confused. Like they're confused. They think that this is not for them. Like it was just purposeless. And so they say, let me think about it. And that's the end because they're not going to call them saying, let me think about it is over. And so imagine if you started on a road trip without a destination. Like you just got in the car and started driving. You'd be driving forever and you get nowhere. And many sales calls fail because they never agree on the goal. You do that when you set the agenda. This is the agenda, and you ask them, do they agree with the agenda? You can say, here's what it's exactly what you can say in your script. By the end of this call, we'll know if this makes sense for you to move forward. Or if it doesn't make sense, then then we'll know that by the end of this call. Does that sound fair to you? And then they'll agree, yeah, that sounds fair. And then you move on. And so now the call has some momentum. The call has purpose. They know the purpose of the call. And so if your sales calls feel harder than they should, it's probably not your offer. Your offer is just fine. It's not the offer. It's probably not your price. It's how you open the call. If you fix the first minute of the call, then the rest of the call fixes itself. It takes care of itself. And so I hope that was helpful for you. if you want help tightening up your sales processes and closing more deals, that's exactly what I help you to do. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.